Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and let's get the sound back on there. This is going to be another Daily Masters cast from your favourite commentator in the entire universe, Hairy Muppet. Yes, here we go, Daily Masters, and here is a player that we have not cast a game of in a little while, I feel like. He's not in the Asus ROG. I believe he was in DreamHack Valencia, but this replay was taken from DreamHack Summer back in the round of 32, and yeah, always awesome to see LucifroN in a Masters level game. And his opponent is going to be none other than Stardust. So yeah, you're going to be seeing a very, very epic matchup coming on through this game. So yeah, not really much to talk about other than Daily Masters. I guess I've been cracking on. I started playing ladder again yesterday. Well, it is actually a bit hard for me to play ladder because 90% of the time I'm uploading something because my internet is so crap and I got to get the videos out there. And obviously I can't play ladder games while I'm using up all my upload. There's no way to try and limit the upload because I feel like Starcraft would probably get away with not that much. I got a maximum of 90k per second. 90 kilobytes, not kilobits, and yeah, I feel like Starcraft doesn't need anywhere near that much. Probably needs in the range of like 2 or 3 kilobytes per second. But YouTube takes absolutely everything when it's uploading, and it usually takes priority, so Starcraft has to kind of fight it to get the bandwidth, and you end up with amazingly bad latency. I actually was excuse me, I was playing World of Warcraft, getting back into a bit of WoW last couple of days, and that's actually fine to play while you're uploading because your ping is like 1200 or something like that. It's stupidly high, but if you're just leveling, it doesn't really matter if it's really, really slow. If I was raiding or something, it would matter, but just for leveling, it doesn't really matter. But playing StarCraft 2 ladder definitely matters. And yeah, so we're just going to be having a crack in here, seeing what will happen, and looks like an early Reaper going to be coming out from LucifroN, and Stardust not doing anything particularly unusual. He's not going for a stupidly early expansion. He's actually getting a Zealot out nice and early, something we don't see every day. Usually we see people go straight for a Stalker. They don't really bother with the Zealot, but Stardust has gotten the Zealot out in this game. And he's also got the Mothership Core, which is pretty standard, so yeah, this Reaper will have to see how well he does at knocking, the Mothership Core, how good he does at knocking the Reaper away. He is quite slow. The Reaper can run circles around him if he decides to. There's a Zealot and a Probe actually coming out. I don't know what that Probe's for. It cannot be for a proxy pylon. It is way too early to be thinking about doing that while you're sending the Zealot out. I'm thinking this may be an attack with the Probe as sort of a backup, maybe? I have no idea. Maybe it's sort of a cannon rush with supported cannon rush. That's an interesting idea actually. Send out a fast Zealot and then start building the cannon all over the place. Where'd this Reaper go? Here it is, so the Mothership Core chasing it around slowly. And what do we got going on here? I'm not sure what the Probe's doing. I think it's attacking, but with 2 Marines. Yeah, the Probe's actually helping out the attack here, but the Marines... Oh, and the Reaper's coming in, and this is the end of this attack because a Reaper can kite a Zealot all damn day. And there we go, the Zealot goes down, the Probe has no chance. The Mothership Core, he's like, sorry guys, I was chasing a Reaper, and he's like, oh shit, there's a Reaper in this space. Is that the same one I was chasing? So yeah, Mothership Core, that actually might have been quite devastating. The Mothership Core Zealot Probe attack, but the Mothership Core did get held up quite a bit, wasn't in there from the start, and he's going to continue on actually getting 2 Stalkers, so the double Stalker Mothership Core harass, transitioning from the single Zealot Probe Mothership harass. And it's a very well known tactic, and yes, you should all be very, very look at this, the high ground advantage, taking this out, the Widow Mine. Oh no, just not able to do it. And the SCV is actually healing up the Widow Mine, so really, really great job. And these guys are going to have to back off. They cannot attack this supply depot anymore. because they'll be in range of the Widow Mine, and this Widow Mine can do quite a crap load of damage. So yeah, they're going to try and go in. They've just got the position on this one, and that's beautiful, just absolutely beautiful. This Reaper still going around having a ball, but yeah, just, they can hit this all day, and there's not much the Terran player can do about it except for repair. And look at this, an Observer coming out. He wants to kill that Widow Mine, I feel like. Or maybe he just wants general scouting. The Reaper is finally going to die. Took him long enough. He's trying to burrow the Widow Mine out the front. The Stalkers back off. And there we go. The Widow Mine getting repaired once again. And I don't think the Stalkers can attack the Widow Mine without getting in range. It's only when it's been lifted up they have a crack. And here comes the Hellbats. And here comes a medevac out as well. So it's going to be all sorts of crazy drop action from LucifroN, and he is going to push out with an expansion, but of course Stardust has had his own expansion out for quite some time, and that was actually the second drop. So the first drop is already here, and they're trying to do quite a bit, but against Stalkers, Hellbats are very, very ineffectual. And he's going to try a last-ditch attempt to get some probes. Not quite able to kill that one though, so pretty good stuff. And a couple of Stalkers, I feel like these are the same Stalkers though. Just moving in, keeping the pressure on. And he's going to shift off with his dropship there. So that's going to be fine. I think even with these small amount of forces left over, he still has enough to hold this off. But yeah, has Stardust taken the economy advantage in this game? With that very, very early pressure, I'm sure it did delay LucifroN's expansion by a little bit. And I feel like it's going to be down to the dropships to try and even this game out, to try and even out that small, but you know, growing larger economic lead that Stardust has carved out for himself. And sending 5 Stalkers out, oh, this is a bit of a dangerous position because double dropships coming in. I don't know if he can warp in enough units to deal with them straight away. He's got the cannons. The cannons are going to help. Here we go. He's dropping them down in the mineral line. A fair few probes are going to die. 3 more Stalkers getting in. The dropship going to move off, and here we go. There's no warp-ins left to defend this base. He's moving the probes away very, very fast, and the Stalkers taking down those Hellbats. A couple of other Hellbats moving up into the main base, but they are going to get dropshipped away, and that's a good decision because he was trying to intercept the probes over here, but yeah, with the Stalkers up there, definitely was not a good idea for him to run up there, and he did not. So yeah, really, really great. And these Stalkers hoping to get the dropship, but the dropship has definitely got the drop on these Stalkers, man. He just went in a little bit on the inside and managed to slip past them. So really, really nice work. Meanwhile, this Observer seeing all sorts of stuff there, and wow, he has actually evened up that worker count with that brilliant attack. I don't feel like he killed that many workers, but he obviously killed enough to make it count. And LucifroN now going to be scouting out the third base. There's not really much his Hellbats can do about this. His main goal here is just to make sure that the Nexus does not spot his dropship, and he might just leave that up there forever. Although this probe up there might just be able to see the dropship, and we will see if he moves some Stalkers into position up here to try and hold that off. The dropship just skating around all over the place. I feel like it must have been in the Protoss player's vision like 3 or 4 times by now. Doing a nice bit of scan there, and that's going to scare Stardust a little bit, but the Colossus coming out in scan range. And here we go, he's actually moving out with most of his army. I'd like to say that's all of his army. And the Colossus coming down, he's going to drop the Hellbats right on the flank. And yeah, the Marauders stimming and running to hit the Colossus. And yeah, the Stalkers are in a bit of trouble now because they don't do too well against Marauders. They do alright, but the Marauders definitely own them all over the place. And the Stalkers having to run here. And this third base has just completed is totally the wrong time because I feel like he definitely would have cancelled it if he knew this was coming. And there we go. Nexus Overcharge is looking to try and hold this off and perhaps may be able to do it. Zealot's coming in to help this out. He just needs to take out the Medevacs and the Marauders, or I'd concentrate on the Marauders if I was him. The Hellbat's not really going to be able to do too much. The Stalker's taking him out. It's going to be so close, but I feel like LucifroN just has it. And there we go, the Nexus going down, but almost all of his forces getting wiped out in the attempt to destroy that Nexus, and Stardust is just going to rebuild it once again. He does not give a shit. And one Hellbat and one Medevac at absolutely low health are going to limp out of there. Actually choosing not to build it straight away. He's got to get out some actual units, get out some actual defenses. He's going to make a nice counter attack here. And if we have a look at the army tab, I'm not sure if he actually, if that's actually a great idea. Although a lot of this is Hellbats, so if he's got a good counter for Hellbats, I think he could possibly make something work. There's not that many Marauders, but there are a ton more Marauders coming out. He's definitely moving away from the Hellbats. I feel like maybe he feels like he built a bit too many. But he's moving away from them. He's getting into the Triple M, getting 2-2 on the way, and he's starting to get Vikings out. So LucifroN doing exactly what he needs to do to get everything done. And here is a single Zealot going in to have a look, and he might actually get some worker kills. So this is freaking awesome. Although the worker's running away, where is your Zealot speed? It's almost done, but it's not quite there. And this Zealot not going to survive very long at all. SCV coming in here, gets wiped out, sees the 2 Colossi, and that is going to be more than worth it to sacrifice a worker to see those 2 Colossi. Although it's probably what he expected, but he does know he needs to really, really get the Vikings out now. Another single Zealot coming out, and look at this, man. LucifroN pushing out for the 3rd base once again. I feel like Stardust in a little bit of a better position to deal with it, but he's not a super good position to deal with it. I feel like, look at this, man. Hellbat drops in the mineral line. Hellbat drops on the flank is actually a very, very interesting idea. They're going to mess up all these High Templar, and Storm is not going to be ready. If LucifroN holds off for another 30 seconds game time, even 20 seconds game time, Storm will be there, and it looks like he is going to hold off. So Stardust thanking his lucky stars that he has got enough time for Storm to be researched, and this battle is suddenly going to have a new dimension added if he decides to go in, because Triple M, of course, not that good against Storms, and I believe Storms hit air and ground at the same time, so he can really do a lot of damage to the Medevacs as well if he gets that off nicely. And have a look at the income. LucifroN continuing to maintain that lead. Sorry if that was a bit too fast, but yeah, he's 11 workers ahead still. Both players on 3 bases. A couple of Marauders coming out to knock that pylon out. And Stardust feels like he has a potential to go in and do something. I'm not sure if I agree with him. It'll all come down to High Templar play, because he's got a good army, but I think LucifroN has a bit more supply in his army, and I feel like LucifroN has a bit more grunt in his army. If we have a look at the upgrades, actually, yeah, he's only starting to get 2-2 now. Sorry, he's getting 2-3. He's actually got 2 armor already, but LucifroN has 2-2. So yeah, I feel like LucifroN has the army advantage right now, and I feel like Stardust is going to be very, very hard pressed to make something happen here. Look at the amount of Vikings that LucifroN has got up. That is freaking insane. That's just an amazing amount of Vikings, and maybe Stardust is lucky he's been switching over to High Templar tech, because so close, and the EMP just missing those guys. So the Ghosts are on a High Templar hunt, but I don't think they're going to. Getting one snipe, another snipe off. The High Templar, they're just a little bit slower than the Ghosts, but it's slow enough. And 3 High Templar going down because Stardust pushed out a little bit too far, but was not ready to engage. And yeah, a little bit of a mistake there. And he's choosing to build Colossi instead, maybe switching from High Templar into Colossi, but that is a bad idea with so many Vikings on the board. The 2 Colossi going down almost instantly, and the Protoss forces, the Zealots being forced back to hit the bloody Hellbats when they got dropped off, so there's no Zealots left to take out this ground force, and the ground force almost unscathed. No High Templars, no Colossus hitting these guys, and yeah, really, really awesome battle there from LucifroN. Just did everything right in that battle. A couple of Storms coming out after to try and hit these guys. Did a pretty good job. And he might be able to hold this off, just might be able to hold this off. But he is going to lose so much in the process. And there we go. There's the GG. Really, really nice job. And I got to draw attention to a few things in that battle, because there just was something that I wasn't really expecting, but that really really did impress me quite a lot. So, whoop, that's the wrong button. So let's get rid of that. Let's put on the units tab so you can watch the units go down as they will. And since we've got it paused, we might as well talk about it. So, I mean, it is awesome how well LucifroN has got this Protoss army countered. Now, the Vikings hitting the Colossi, excellent. The Ghosts hitting the High Templar, excellent. They're standard though. They're standard counters. Everybody knows how to use them, so you'd expect him to know how to use them. Now, this Hellbat drop. Let's talk about this Hellbat drop for a second. This is perfect. Perfect for countering the Zealots. The problem is the Zealots have speed. They get into this line, and the triple M is forced to attack the Zealots. The Stalkers add a ton of damage on the backside. So you got, and these Zealots are so bulky, man. They've got quite a lot of armor. I think they've got 1 armor by default, as well as this 2 extra. And I mean, Stardust is really, really banking on this massive amount of Zealot strategies to help him out versus the Triple M. And you can tell because he's got this armor. He's got the armor before weapons. He's mainly focusing on keeping the Zealots alive. And the Zealots do a ton of damage by themselves. So he's just worried about keeping them alive as long as possible. That's why he's got the extra armor. And he's got so many of them. So because he knows that Triple M aren't awesome at dealing with Zealots. The Zealots kind of get in their face and they kind of just ring through them. But it's a little bit of a struggle for Triple M to take out a massive amount of Zealots, man. Because they're right up in their face, and when you're stimming and Zealots are right on you, you tend to lose a lot of units very fast. So yeah, but if it was pure Stalkers, then LucifroN would have no troubles. But because it's a lot of Zealots, he has a little bit of problems. Now we're going to take a look at exactly how LucifroN handles this massive amount of Zealots. Here we go. It's dropping the Hellbats right in the line. And look at the Zealots, man. Look at them all crumble. A lot of them died there. And of course, it wasn't just the Hellbats hitting the Zealots. It was also the fact that the Marines and Marauders were free to hit the Zealots, and the fact that the Zealots were all hitting the Hellbats. The Hellbats hit the Zealots hit the Hellbats by default. Zealots are not built to hit armored units. I mean, they can do it if they have to, but they're much better suited to shredding Marines and stuff like that. Just because the Hellbats have so much health. And yeah, how much health do these guys actually have? 135, so that's a very decent amount of health. When you compare it to a Marine, which only has 55, and a Marauder has 125. So 125 Marauders, you expect them to be bulky, which is fine. The Stalkers will help take those guys out, but Hellbats, they're so bulky as well, man. And when you've just got the Zealots getting in there, and the problem is he didn't have that many Stalkers. So yeah, really, really nice. Just beautiful tactics from LucifroN there in that engagement. The Hellbat drop and the front of the Zealot lines really, really did a nice job. And he actually dropped them in between the Zealots and the Stalkers, which is a very interesting choice. I guess he's sort of forcing the Stalkers to attack the Hellbats and forcing the Zealots to attack the Hellbats, sort of, yeah. The main thing he wants is the Zealots to turn around and hit the Hellbats, and then his Triple M flanks the Zealots and just completely owns the Zealots. There's no bonus for hitting a unit when it's turned around, but it just makes so much sense anyway, because the Zealots sort of charge into the Hellbat straight away. They use up that charge, and it's just beautiful. So there we go. Congratulations to LucifroN. So for that beautiful victory, he did everything right. And the Hellbat drop on the Zealots, just the cherry on top of the cake, which got him that beautiful win. So thank you very much for watching this game. This has been Hairy Muppet. I'll catch you guys tomorrow for another Daily Masters Cast.